based on the work that the team did with the strategic objectives, critical success factors, goals, definitions, and measures, they've come up with some recommendations to adjust the strategy map. So as a reminder, we started off with a strategy map that looked a bit like this. Now their first concern was on the left-hand side. They felt that C2, continuously optimize our costs, and I2, pursue cost innovation, were in fact the same objective. And again, what they did is they looked at the definitions, the strategic success factors, the goals, and of course the specific measures. And the more they looked at it, the more they found significant overlap between these objectives. So they've recommended joining these two together to make a new C2 which combines the two, continuously optimize our costs through innovation. And they've put it in the internal perspective because it's an internal activity that we need to do, but it will be measured inside of C1 and enable our businesses to meet their objectives. On the center, they decided that the enable business strategies and enable our business to meet their objectives were also the same objective. Again, looking at critical success factors, goals, measures, definitions. But also, they made a determination that they wanted the green band, the financial perspective, to focus on the financial measures of the work they did. So F2 is going to focus on the financial aspect of cost control, and F3 eventually is going to focus on the valuation impact of associated risks. So in this case, we have little control over the actual revenue generated from the products and services we deliver. So we joined them, but decided to join them in the customer perspective because, of course, our customers are concerned about our ability to enable their strategies and objectives. So again, we combine the two and combine the two weighting to make that one a 15%er. Now, as opposed to taking objectives off, on the right-hand side, they suggested we might need to add a new one in. That is, they thought the customer wanted a view of the reputational associated impacts of risk. And so they've suggested adding one in. And what they suggested was adding in a customer-facing objective that says reduce reputational risk, as opposed to the top one, which is the valuation of risk exposure. Now at this point we had 5% on the original F2, so we've split that 5%, giving 2% for the valuation metrics and 3% for the reputational metrics. But it's important to note that the objective, critical success factors, and goals remain essentially unchanged. We're merely being more accurate on which stakeholder wants to see which type of information. So we end up with a strategy map that we're recommending that looks like this. Again, we have not changed any of the scope of the strategy. We've merely reclassified where we're going to be measuring and reporting the different performance areas. It's important to note that this has not been reviewed and approved by the SLT.